Greetings, wonderful audience. Amarjit here from Amar PTE classes. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. So, in today's video, I'm going to perform a live mock test of the listening section. So, listening section is the most important module of the PTE. So, if you are getting good score in the listening section, then you can say कि you can also improve your overall score of the PTE. So I'm going to perform this mock test, sectional mock test on Alpha PTE, and you are clearly seen कि this is the mock test for the February predictions. Means if you are planning your exam in the February, then you must have to go through this mock test of the listening section. So let's start it. So keep your pen and paper ready along with this video, because you will get all the tasks of the listening module which are contributing, you can say, ki in the listening section of the PTE. So these are the modules. This is the module from the speaking section: repeat sentence, retell lecture, then answer short question. And these are the modules from the listening section: summarize spoken text, then listening filling the blanks is the most important task, then highlight incorrect words and write from dictation. So you will get total 50 minutes to attempt this task. So you have to start with the speaking section. So the first question you will get is the repeat sentence. So let's start without wasting of time, but keep your pen and paper ready, because you need this for the retell lecture and for the listening task. So let's start. Let's continue. First question.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you'll have some time to look at questions 14 to 20.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, time to look at questions 14 to 20.
I would like tomatoes and cheese sandwiches on white bread and orange juice.
I would like tomatoes and cheese sandwiches on white bread and orange juice.
Applicants for the course should preferably have a degree in English or journalism.
Applicants of the course should preferably have a degree in English or journalism.
To get a further extension, you need to call the education executive on 401.
To get a further extension, you need to call the education executive on 401.
Conservation is the survival of future generations.
Conservation is the survival of future generations.
Students will not be given credits for assignments submitted after the due date.
Students will not be given credits for the assignments submitted after the due date.
Many undergraduate students go back home and stay with their parents after graduation.
Many undergraduate students go back home and stay with their parents after graduation.
The company exists for money, not for society.
The company exists for money, not for society.
Politics combine both the legislative and political authorities.
Politics combine both the legislative and the political authorities.
I expect a long and stagnant debate for a week or two on this issue.
I expect a long debate for a week or two on this issue.
Animals grow larger and stronger to hunt better.
Animals grow larger and stronger to hunt better. So this is the retail lecture. Try to note down the phrases.
Television, the most pervasive and persuasive of modern technologies, marked by rapid change and growth, is moving into a new era, an era of extraordinary sophistication and versatility, which promises to reshape our lives and our world. It is an electronic revolution of sorts, made possible by the marriage of television and computer technologies. The word television, derived from its Greek, tele, distant, and Latin visio, sight roots, can literally be interpreted as sight from a distance. Very simply put, it works in this way. Through a sophisticated system of electronics, television provides the capability of converting an image, focused on a special photoconductive plate within a camera, into electronic impulses, which can be sent through a wire or cable. These impulses, when fed into a receiver, television set, can then be electronically reconstituted into that same image. Television is more than just an electronic system, however. It is a means of expression as well as a vehicle for communication, and as such becomes a powerful tool for reaching other human beings. The field of television can be divided into two categories determined by its means of transmission. First, there is broadcast television, which reaches the masses through broad-based airwave transmission of television signals. Second, there is non-broadcast television, which provides for the needs of individuals or specific interest groups through controlled transmission techniques. Traditionally, television has been a medium of the masses. We are most familiar with broadcast television because it has been with us for about 37 years in a form similar to what exists today. During those years, it has been controlled, for the most part, by the broadcast networks, the ABC, NBC, and CBS, who have been the major purveyors of news, information, and entertainment. These giants of broadcasting have actually shaped not only television but our perception of it as well. We have come to look upon the picture tube as a source of entertainment, placing our role in this dynamic medium as the passive viewer.
So try to note down the phrases and always use a good template in retail lecture. The speaker was discussing television. He talked about rapid change and growth in new era. He mentioned that it is an electronic revolution of sorts. He discussed that television derived from Greek and Latin roots. He highlighted that television has the capability of converting an image into impulses. He also explained that television can be converted into two categories. Overall, the speaker provided information about a source of entertainment. Answer short question.
Jack is having a presentation on Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. When will Jack have his speech? Today, tomorrow, or next week?
Tomorrow.
How many years does a centennial celebrate?
100 years.
What do we call a car that uses two types of fuels?
A hybrid car.
When we say dollars, cents, pounds, euro, what are these called?
Currencies.
A newspaper is published every day, and a journal is published every month. What do you call the publication that is published 4 times a year?
Quarterly.
What shines at night in the sky and uses its own brightness?
Stars. So this is summarized spoken text.
The glass ceiling is an idea familiar to many. It refers to the invisible barrier that seems to exist in many fields and which prevents women from achieving senior positions. Less well known, but arguably a more pernicious problem, is the glass cliff. Originally recognized by academics Michelle Ryan and Alex Haslam back in 2005, this is the phenomenon of women making it to the boardroom but finding themselves disproportionately represented in untenable leadership positions. Ryan and Haslam presented evidence that women were indeed starting to secure seats at boardroom tables, but the problem was that their positions were inherently unstable. These women would then find themselves in an unsustainable leadership position from which they would be ousted with evidence of apparent failure. The title of their paper sums it up. Women are overrepresented in precarious leadership positions. Subsequent research in an array of environments has demonstrated that this is not an isolated issue, nor is it unique to certain industries or geographical locations. It reveals that women in top leadership positions seem to be routinely handed inherently unsolvable problems. The glass ceiling prevents women from reaching top positions, while the glass cliff places them in precarious leadership roles. Identified by Michelle Ryan and Alex Haslam in 2005, research shows that women are often appointed to unstable roles characterized by untenable challenges, making them more likely to fail and be ousted. This issue spans various industries and locations.
So this is summarized spoken text. You have to write within the word limits 50 to 70 words. So here it is the word limit. You can check here. So always use a good template again for the summarized spoken text. Though the first line is the speaker was talking about the glass ceiling. So this is the first line. So this is the main topic, the glass ceiling. So I am using the because it is a noun. So if you are using a noun, then you have to use the before the noun. Then give a space. Firstly, he discussed achieving senior positions, achieving senior positions back in 2005. This is the second line. Next line. Secondly, he mentioned. So this is the line from the template. So next you have to write the phrase, and my phrase is women in. So women is plural. Women in boardroom. So you have to write the boardroom collectively and leadership positions. This is the second line. Next line. So you have to check the spellings as well. So it is positions. In addition, comma, he explained. Next line. Positions were inherently stable. Positions were inherently stable. Moreover, this is the template. The lecture was all about. The title of the paper, which sums it up, full stop. Overall, the speaker. So you can't write overall the lecture was very informative. So you have to conclude overall the speaker provided information about women being appointed to isolated positions. So this is from my side. So if you will check, then here it is 61 words. So this is the line from the template the speaker was talking about. So the glass ceiling, according to me, this is the main topic of the lecture. So you have to always check your template should be in the past form, because you are saying ki you hear the lecture. So now you are concluding your lecture in your own words. So your template should be in the past. So you have to make the sentences properly. Firstly, he discussed. So this is the line of the template. So what you are discussing, achieving senior positions back in 2005. So this is the line in the past. Secondly, so you have to check the spellings of secondly. He mentioned women in boardroom and leadership positions, means already he mentioned ki women's in boardroom and the leadership position. So women is the plural, so you will always use plural here. In addition, he explains, so this is the line from the template, position. So again, position is plural, then you will use were, not was, inherently stable. So this is the past and this is also in the past form of verb. Moreover, the lecture was all about, so lecture was means you are again talking about the past. The title of the paper, this is the main topic, you can say, which sums it up. So these are the two sentences, that's why I'm using comma here. But you have, if you have a problem, then you can also use and, you can use simple sentences also. Overall, the speaker provided information about, so about is like ki this is the template, but this is the last line, you can say ki second last line or the third last line, women being appointed to the isolated position. So this is all about the summarized spoken text. You have to take care of the word limit and the time limit also. So click on the next button. Next question might be MCQ multiple answer, because in exam you will get MCQ multiple answers.
Readjusting to life in your own country after living abroad for some time is a little like recovering from jet lag after a long flight across several time zones. It takes time. And research indicates that after 9 years of living in a foreign country, you never really do readjust. Of course, things have changed. Governments have come and gone. What you knew as countryside has become a suburb. New technologies have changed the way people go about their daily lives, and so on. These changes may well have been taking place in your adopted country, but they were happening while you were there, so you could adapt as you went along. Those are not the main difficulties, however. It is in the smaller, everyday things that you might experience what is known as culture shock, although it's not really a shock, but puzzling all the same. For example, the precise way to behave at a supermarket checkout may have changed, and in ordinary conversation, the frames of reference have changed, and quite often you find that you don't really know what people are talking about, even though they are speaking your native tongue.
So according to me, option A is the correct option and option C is the correct option, but we will check answer later. I will show you the answer also and the score also. So next might be listening, filling the blanks, so keep your cursor here.
It's been a challenging decade for the music industry, with a significant decrease in sales. For years, little action was taken against illegal downloads, with few effects for downloaders. However, two new approaches are seeing positive results. Firstly, the industry is working with internet service providers to slow an illegal downloader's connection. Secondly, it's working directly with digital music websites. In Sweden, 3 out of 5 illegal file sharers have cut back or stopped, with half of these people moving to legal websites supported by advertisements.
So first option is decrease in sales. This is the first answer. Listening, filling the blanks. Second is little action. So check your spellings carefully. Next is positive. Positive results. Next is directly. Sometime you know the spellings, but in hurry you can make some mistakes, so you have to check carefully. Next is file shares have cut back, because cut is third form of verb also. If you will say about cut, then it's cut. And last one is advertisements, so it's a plural. So websites supported by advertisements, so you have to check what is given before the blank. So if you are watching, so here it is plural, so you will always write here again plural. So sales, action, positive, directly, cut and advertisements. Next question. Keep your cursor here.
Heavy rains are expected to fall in a few weeks. Aid agencies are racing to shore up flimsy shelters and stabilize shaky terrain before the monsoon season begins. The UN Refugee Agency says the work ahead is monumental, but preparations are off to a better start this year than last. Aid agencies last year had to deal with a massive influx of more than 740,000 Rohingya refugees fleeing violence and persecution in Myanmar. They arrived over a period of a few months, straining local resources and requiring vast amounts of humanitarian assistance.
So first one is shelters. Check your spellings of shelters. Next is monumental. So this is the spellings of monumental. First you have to write monu, then mental. Next is refugees. So if you are confused about refugees spelling, because sometimes students have a confusion ki ma'am it is a double E or single E, then you can check from here also, but here it is more than this, so means it is plural. So you can check your spellings of refugees from here, but you have to use it plural form. Next is requiring. So sometime the answer will be given within the paragraph, sometime, not always. Next is humanitarian. 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 So first one is shelters, monumental, refugees, requiring and humanitarian. Check your spellings carefully. Next question.
Two former U.S. Republican presidents, George Bush Sr. and his son George W., have called on Americans to reject racism and anti-Semitism. It's being seen as a rebuke to Donald Trump for his comments about who was responsible for clashes in Charlottesville on Saturday. Mr. Trump sparked fury when he again blamed both anti-racist protesters and white supremacists. One demonstrator, Heather Heyer, was killed. At her memorial service, her mother said the killer had wanted to silence her daughter, but had ended up magnifying her. President Trump has announced he's dismantling 2 advisory panels made up mainly of senior business figures. Several resigned in the controversy over the U.S. leader's reaction to events in Charlottesville.
So first one is reject. Next one is clashes. Responsible for clashes. Next one is supremacists. S-U-P-R-E. I'm not sure about these spellings, but I'm writing here. We will check the answers later. Supremacists. Ended up magnifying. So it is magnifying. M-A-G-N-I-F-Y-I-N-G. Magnifying. And last one is controversy. C-O-N-T-R-O-V-E-R-S-Y. Reject, clashes, supremacists, magnifying. Check your spellings of magnifying. And last one is the controversy. C-O-N-T-R-O-V-E-R-S-Y. So this is highlight correct summary.
Hi everyone, my name is Jae Chun Che. I teach in the Division of Ecoscience at Ewha Women's University. Far too many people often say things like, animals do this, but we don't. Or it's, this animal does this and that animal does this, but the humans don't do things like that. Those statements have some hidden assumption that we're not animals. When we say animals do this, animals do that, we often assume that we're not animals. If we're not animals, what are we? Are we plants? Or trees or flowers? No, we're not. Then, okay, we're not plants. Then are we microorganisms? Really tiny microscopic things? No, we're not. Then the natural conclusion must be we're not living things. That's not true. Yes, we are animals. And I see animals in us, and I see humans in animals. So I'm going to talk about the animal behavior and human nature. In order to understand human nature, we can look into animals' eyes and animal behavior and find something about what made us who we are.
So highlight correct summary means ki which you will hear in the end of the audio. So in the end of the audio, the speaker was discussing about human nature, to understand the human nature and the animal behavior. So you have to check what the speaker was talking about in the end of the summary. So highlight correct summary ki you will hear an audio, but you have to focus on the conclusion. So you always find a conclusion in some of the options. So according to me, A is the correct option. So next is the MCQ single answer. Only one option is correct here.
The fortune of becoming a fortune teller is a dream for everyone. You get the privilege of looking into the future of others. In some places, they are called psychics. People come to a fortune teller to resolve their problems. The forecast made by a fortune teller may not be exactly true. Fortune tellers are not respected in some places. But in some places, they are respected a lot. Many get married only after asking the fortune teller. Fortune teller take this work as divine work. Even many entrepreneurs start the business after consulting a fortune teller. Fortune tellers use different methods to tell fortune. Some use numerology, some use astrology, some use cards, and some use crystals to gaze into the future of others.
So this question is very simple, because question is what is the paragraph about. So you can easily understand the paragraph was about the life of a fortune teller, because none of the options are matching with the audio. So you can easily check the answer, but you have to focus on the audio as well. So next question, select missing word.
Government health officials and doctors don't like to talk about it. The major reason methamphetamine hooks people is that it increases their sex drive and performance for a short while. Anyway, it is even more powerful than cocaine in this respect. Dr. Mary Holy of Alabama interviewed meth addicts. Both men and women said the effect on sex was the #1 reason they used it.
So I think illegal drug is the correct option. Highlight incorrect word, most important task.
I have named, among many rivers that make music in my memory, that dirty water of Leith. Often and often I desire to look upon it again, and the choice of a point of view is easy to me. It should be at a certain water door, embowered in shrubbery. The river is there dammed back for the service of the flour mill just below, so that it lies deep and darkling, and the sand slopes into brown obscurity with a glint of gold. And it has but newly been recruited by the borrowings of the snuff mill just above, and these, tumbling merrily in, shake the pool to its black heart, fill it with drowsy eddies, and set the curded froth of many other mills solemnly steering to and fro upon the surface. Or so it was when I was young, for change and the masons and the pruning knife have been busy, and if I could hope to repeat a cherished experience, it must be on many and impossible conditions.
So I think these were the answers: roads, rare, silver, thickened, and some. Next question.
The passengers who had left Rome by the night express had to stop until dawn at the small station of Fabriano in order to continue their journey by the small, old-fashioned local, joining the main line with Sulmona. At dawn, in a stuffy and smoky second-class carriage in which 5 people had already spent the night, a bulky woman in deep mourning was hoisted in, almost like a shapeless bundle. Behind her, puffing and moaning, followed her husband, a tiny man, thin and weakly, his face death-white, his eyes small and bright, and looking shy and uneasy.
So I think these are the incorrect words: have, long, smelly, for, and tall. We will check answers later.
Today, we tell about the start of the American colonies' war for independence from Britain in the late 1700s.
The road to revolution lasted several years. The most serious events began in 1770. War began 5 years later. Relations between Britain and its American colonists were most tense in the colony of Massachusetts. There were protests against the British policy of taxing the colonies without giving them representation in Parliament. To prevent trouble, thousands of British soldiers were sent to Boston, the biggest city in Massachusetts. On March 5, 1770, tension led to violence. This is what happened.
So by, ended, then with, people and scene. Next is write from dictation, so keep your pen and paper ready.
Graphs are often useful for geographical research.
So the option is graphs are often useful for the geographical research. So this is the sentence. Graphs are often useful for the geographical research. So if you are confused about are and were, then you can write the both. Next.
The lecture tomorrow will discuss the educational policy in the United States.
So the sentence is, the lecture tomorrow will discuss the educational policy in the United States. So United States means it is the name of the country. So you have to write United with capital U and State with capital S. So the sentence was, the lecture tomorrow, check your spellings of tomorrow, will discuss the educational policy. It's not education. So if you are confused, then you can write down the both education as well as the educational, but try to maintain your sequence of the sentence. Don't change the sequence of the sentence. Try to start your sentence with the capital letter and always finish your sentence with the full stop. Third question.
Scientific beneficiary to space exploration is frequently questioned.
So sentence is, scientific beneficiary, BENEFICIARY, to space exploration is frequently questioned. Scientific beneficiary to space exploration is frequently questioned. So according to me, this is the sentence. We will check the answer later. So check your spellings of scientific beneficiary space exploration. Next is frequently questioned. Last question, I think so.
In addition to the class requirements, students must pass the qualifying examinations.
In addition to the class requirements, students must pass the qualifying examinations. The qualifying examinations. In addition to the class requirements, check your spellings of requirements. Students must pass the qualifying examination. So you must have to take care of the plural words. In addition means strength should be in plural. Requirements, then students is the plural, then examination is also the plural. So let's check it. So we are continuing. So it will show you your score. So here is the score of the listening section test. You can say it's from February week 1 and the overall score is the 84 and the total number of questions were 33 and the attempted questions was 33. And this is the score of the task wise. You can say it's the score of repeat sentence, reader lecture, answer short question, summarize spoken text, then MCQ multiple, filling the blanks, then highlight correct summary, and all the parts, highlight incorrect words and the right from dictation. So this is all about from my side. So if you want to check the answers as well, so you can also check the answers, but it will take some time. So I am making these kind of videos so can some of the students can't afford the fee, so that they can easily check ki what type of questions they can get in the final PT exam. So if you have any queries, any doubts, then you can write in the comment box, and if you want to share some doubts with me, then you can also mail me, and you can also call me. My number and email ID is given in the description box. So these are the questions. This is the answer short questions, and this is the summarized spoken text. So you can check the score from here. All the corrections are good here, like grammar, vocabulary, spelling and formats 2 out of 2, but in content it is showing 1.5 out of 2. So sometime it should be some, you can say ki software, ki these are the settings in the software. So this is the I think this is the MCQ multiple answer, and these are the listening filling the blanks. So you can check your answers like this, advertisements like this type of question, and this one the last blank. So these are the answers. So you can check answers like this. So if you have queries, then you can write it, but don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to share to my videos, and don't forget to click on the like button and the bell icon. Thank you so much to all of you to watching my videos.